Hello friends, welcome you all to the next lecture of the JCE Connect series of online lectures. We are studying the module 5 in which we are dealing with the chapter anchorage zone stresses in post tension members. In the previous examples, we have seen the effect of anchorage zone stresses on the cross section of the beams. Then in the second lecture, we have discussed about the different formulas and IS code regulations which we have to use for analyzing these members. And in the previous or the last video lecture, we have solved one example in which we found out the bursting force and designed suitable anchor zone reinforcement to negotiate that or to overcome that bursting force. So let's go ahead with today's class. So in today's lecture, we'll go ahead with the example number 2. So in this example, we have a post tension beam with a cross section of 500 by 1000 is pre-stressed using 2 cables each. An effective pre-stressing force of 2800 kN is applied using anchor plates of 305 by 305 mm. The centers of these plates are located at 250 mm from the top and bottom fibers respectively. The cube strength of concrete at transfer is 35 Newton per mm square. We have to check for bearing pressure and design the end block reinforcement. The grade of steel to be used is 415. So now in this case we have a beam which has a cross section of 500 by 1000. Then the pre-stressing is not done by a single cable, it is done by 2 cables, okay, which are located at 250 mm from top and bottom fiber. Means one cable is located at a depth of 250 from the top, whereas the other cable is located at a depth of 250 from the bottom. The effective pre-stressing force in each cable is 2800 kN. The size of the anchor plate is also given, whereas the FCK and FY values are also mentioned. So let's start with the solution. So again, the most important part here is to draw the figure. Now in this case, I have firstly drawn the entire beam cross section which is of depth 1000 mm and width 500 mm. Then these two squares inside represent the plates which are used for pre-stressing. Okay, the size of the plates is given as 305 by 305. Both are of same size. So if we analyze one part, it can be applicable for the, it can be applied for both the parts. Now this dark line which I have drawn is the center line of the section which is at a depth of 500. Now the cables are located at a distance of 250 from the top and 250 from the bottom, which I have mentioned here. Okay, so here also if you want you can write 250 and 250. So here will be cable number 1 and this will be cable number 2. So 305 and 305 is the plate dimensions. Now in this case what happens is, as the location of the cable is predefined, okay, it defines the area of punching also. Now for obtaining area of punching, we have to take an area which is of equal distance, okay, on both the sides with respect to the distance given from the fiber. That means as the distance from the fiber is 250, above also we have to take an span of 250. In a sense, the bottom half of the beam becomes the entire bearing area, okay, with respect to the applied force. Similarly for the top cable, top portion becomes the bearing area. Now here what has happened is, coincidentally 250 is the given data and the width is 500. So again 250 and 250 becomes 500. So here also we will be getting the y naught value as 250 and 2y0 is 500. Okay. Now for example, if the cable was placed at say 125 instead of 250, imagine that the cable is placed at what distance? 125, then, or say 150. Okay, 150 is better. The cable is placed at 150. Then what will happen is our bearing area will become 150 plus 150 is 300. Okay, so y0 will be 300 in that case. Try to imagine the change which I am explaining. In the next example we will take it up, but still with respect to this example I am trying to explain. If the location of the bearing plates was at 150, okay, then our effective bearing area will be 2 times of 150, that is 300 by 300. But now, and this, as in this case, we have the location as 250 from the bottom as well as top. 250 plus 250 is 500. Our area becomes 500 by 500. In that case we have to take the least value. Okay, so here both values will be the same, so it won't be affecting much. So here let's note down the values of y0, yp0. Now yp0 is 305 by 2, which is half of the size of the plate. Entire plate dimension becomes 2 yp0, okay, which I have mentioned in the previous example. Here also if you want you can mark, or even if you don't mark it is fine. The next FCK and Fy values are given and the effective pre-stressing force is mentioned. We have to check for bearing pressure and design the end block reinforcement. So problem is quite similar as compared to the last example, but the only thing is that here there are two cables which are placed specifically. In the previous example there was a single cable which was placed concentrically. Now here we have two cables which are placed specifically from the top and bottom fibers at a distance of 250 mm. Both are carrying the pre-stressing force, hence only we can analyze one cable and apply the same answer to the other section also. Check for bearing stresses. So area of punching as explained earlier is 2 yp0 into 2 yp0, which is nothing but the area of the anchor plate itself. Then we get area of bearing as I explained you earlier, it is 2 y0 into 2 y0, which is 500 by 500 in this case. Then we obtain the actual bearing pressure, which is sigma br actual, which is P effective upon area of bearing. So substituting the effective pre-stressing force 2800 kilonewton divided by the area of bearing, which is 250 into 10 raised to 3, we get an actual bearing pressure of 11.2. Means because of the pre-stressing forces applied, a bearing pressure of 11.2 Newton per mm square is developed at the section. Now this pressure we have to cross verify or cross check with the regulations given by the IS code whether it is within the permissible limits or no. So let's go ahead with the check for bearing as per your IS code. As per IS 1343, the permissible bearing stresses, that is sigma br, is the least of first clause is 0.48 FCI square root of area of bearing divided by area of punching. Okay, so this formula is already mentioned in the initial lectures. Substituting the values, we get 27.54. The second clause is 0.8 times of FCI, that is 0.8 into 35. We get the answer of 28. Therefore, we can say that the sigma br actual is quite less than the sigma br permissible. Okay, sorry, I have made a mistake here. I have just copy pasted. This should be permissible, which is the least of two, which will be 27.54, whereas the sigma actual was 11.7. So we are quite safe in the bearing stresses. So if you get these examples, these will be straightforward examples. They come for 8 to 12 marks. Those will be a lottery examples. Okay. So practice these examples, and hopefully if required these can be included in the syllabus of your first IO also, which will be conducted in the first week of June. Design of anchor zone reinforcement. First is bursting force calculation. Again, I am repeating, the steps are very simple and remain same for maximum of the examples. So here, as per IS 1343, we have the relationship. The bursting tensile force is given by F bursting is equal to Pk into bracket 0.32 minus 0.3 multiplied by Yp naught divided by Y naught. So substituting the required values, we get a bursting force of 384 kilonewton. Okay, we get a bursting force of 384 kilonewton, which is quite a heavy force. So now for this force, let us go ahead with the design of reinforcement. For area of reinforcement required is equal to bursting force divided by 0.87 Fy. So substituting all the values, please excuse me, here it should be 10 raised to 3, not 103. This is 10 raised to 3 because this force is in kilonewton, or this is multiplied by 1000. So we get a area required as 1063. So again, using 10 mm diameter bars, the number of bars required is equal to area required divided by area of 1 bar. We get the number of bars required as 13.54, but we cannot provide such number of bars as discussed earlier. It is better to provide the bars which are multiples of either 3 or 4, so that the arrangement can be made properly. So let us provide 16 number of 10 mm diameter bars. So again, the reinforcement should be provided between 0.2 Y0 to 2 Y0, which is again 50 and 500 mm. So in this case, we get a figure in this way. So I have drawn only the longitudinal section. You can develop a cross section, or this will be sufficient. Here I have shown the depth of the beam as divided into two parts, 500, 500, that is 1000. Width of the beam has to be 500. So the top portion has 16 bars which are arranged, and the bottom portion also has 16 bars which have been arranged. Now if you want to find the exact spacing, in this case how it will be, total available length is 500 minus 50, that is 450. 450 will be divided into 1, 2, 3 spacings. So each spacing will be of 150 mm. Okay, so again I am repeating, this is the longitudinal view wherein I have shown the arrangements of the bars. Now at this level, hopefully, okay, you are capable of imagining this figure, else you are in final year of engineering. If you are not able to get the drawings, I don't know how will you go in the execution field or the civil field. Okay, so these bars will run along the width of the beam. So when you see in the longitudinal section, they will be seen as a dot. So this is how the 16 bars in each of the space are arranged. We have here two arrangements, as it was the beam is pre-stressed at 2 points. One is in the top section, other is in the bottom section. Okay, so I have solved a second type of example where a double pre-stressing force was applied on a section, and we have checked this section for bearing and further designed the anchor zone reinforcement. Hopefully you have understood the example. Let's conclude with this lecture. Thank you.